Hello students. Now the last few lectures we have done with rule based classifiers, then the k nearest neighbor algorithms and decision trees. Now the last part of this particular module is the Bayesian classifiers. So we will be dealing with that now. Basically Bayesian classifier, it is a classification model. So I told you what a classification model is, wherein we have a training data, we train the model, and then when there is a new data which comes based on the trained model, it will classify it. So Bayesian classification also is a classification problem. Here this is based on the Bayes theorem. Now what the Bayes theorem states, it describes the probability of an event based on prior knowledge of conditions which could be related to the event. Like for example, I am going to say whether it has rained or not seeing a wet floor. When I see a wet floor, what does it mean? That probably there may have been a rain. So I am going to tell the probability of whether there was a rain when I see a wet floor. This is what is called as Bayes theorem. So what it describes the probability of an event based on prior knowledge. So here the prior knowledge is the wet floor, and the probability of the event is whether it has rained or not. So that is what we call as Bayes theorem. Okay. Now for instance, now here what I am trying to determine, we write Bayes theorem in this format. This is probability of y when I know x. That means probability it has rained when I see a wet floor. So x is a wet floor and y is whether it has rained or not. So probability of y given x is equal to probability of x given y into probability of y by probability of x. This is what we call as Bayes theorem. So we are going to find out what is the probability of a variable y when I know the prior probability, means already know what is x. Based on the factor that I know x, I am going to determine y. So p of y given x is equal to p of x given y into p of y by p of x. So we will take another example over here. Remember, this is what we call as Bayes theorem. Now I want to find out the patient's probability of having a liver disease if they are alcoholic. Okay, so I know he is an alcoholic. So what is the probability that he will have a liver disease? If the patient is an alcoholic, what is the probability he will have a liver disease? Okay, so here y means the patient has liver disease. Okay, so I have two variables. In Bayes theorem, we talk about two variables. Y is he's got liver disease. So based on past data, okay, it tells you that in the clinic, 10% of the people entering the clinic will have liver disease. So I will write P of y is equal to 0.10. Okay, because y indicates the liver disease. Then x is that the patient is an alcoholic. So I say 5% of the patients are alcoholics. So I say P of x is equal to 0.05 because 5%. Now we want to know that among these patients diagnosed with the liver disease, okay, we also know that 7% are alcoholics. That means, now see here now, y is given to you and I am saying x from that. What is x? He is an alcoholic. Okay, y is he's got a liver disease. So that among those with a liver disease, y is given to you. I know he's got y. Then what is the probability of x? 7% are alcoholics. Okay, that means if he has a liver disease, then he is an alcoholic. What is the probability of that? It is 7%. That is what is P of x given y. Okay, now based on this, we are going to find out what is the probability of y given x. That means what is the probability that if the patient is an alcoholic, then the chances of having a liver disease. So P of y given x is equal to the same formula we apply, P of x given y into P of y by P of x. So P of x given y is how much? It is 7%. That is nothing but 0.07. Then into P of Y. P of Y we found out over here is 0.10. So 0.1. And P of X is 0.05. So we get 0.14. That means the probability. So what does it mean? The probability that a patient having a liver disease when he is an alcoholic is 14%, that is 0.14. This is large increase compared to the 10% which was there earlier. Earlier what did we say? Here initially we had assumed that based on past data, 10% of patients entering the clinic has got liver disease. Now after computing the probability, we realize that if the patient is an alcoholic, them having a liver disease is 14%. So this is an increase from the 10%. This is what the objective of Bayes theorem is. Okay, so another example what I can cite from here is, now for instance, imagine I have two variables now. Anyway, for Bayes theorem we talk about two variables, x and y. So I have two variables. P of fire, probability of fire means how often there is fire, and probability of smoke means how often we see smoke. So P of fire given smoke means how often there is fire when we can see smoke. Okay, and here P probability of smoke given fire means how often we can see smoke when there is a fire. So this is how we represent probability. That is how often B happens given that A happens, or how often Y happens given X happens. Okay, so this is what your Bayesian classifier is used for. Okay, now based on that we will try to classify a set of data over here. Okay, this is a data we have already dealt with. Okay, now to classify any data we have to compute. Now I told you what is a prior probability. Prior probability is the knowledge I know in advance. Like I said, when I see a wet floor, I am going to tell the probability of a rain. So that seeing the wet floor is a prior probability. I know some data existing. Now posterior probability, we define a term called as posterior probability here. Okay, now posterior probability of a random event is a conditional probability which we assign after some relevant evidence is taken into account. So for classification we have to define what is a posterior probability. For example, I'll just tell you what a posterior probability in simple terms is. Now the probability of a person finding a buried treasure, if they randomly dig a random spot, that is called as a non-posterior probability. I'm just going to a random spot digging to find a buried treasure. Okay, that is non-posterior. Now posterior is I am trying to find a buried treasure, digging a spot when the metal detector rings. So metal detector ringing is some evidence which I am getting. Okay, then I am trying to find out if there is a buried treasure. So that is called as a posterior probability. Based on an evidence, I am taking the evidence into account. I am determining the probability of a random event. That is what we call as posterior probability. So here we are going to determine what is the posterior probability to classify a event. And here this is the data set. You can see 10 data sets are given to you. Homeowner is there. I've just interchanged the two things. The data is interchanged. This is the annual income and this is the marital status. Then whether he is a defaulted borrower. Defaulted borrower means if I take a loan, will I repay the loan on time or will I default that loan? Means I won't pay the loan on time. Okay, so 10 data sets are given to you. Now you have to find, this is a test data. What is there? X is nothing else but the test data. If he is not a homeowner, homeowner is equal to no. Marital status is married. He is married and annual income is 120k. Then will he default a loan or not is what you have to find out. Okay, so he is not a homeowner and he is married and his annual income is 120k. You have to find out the class to which he belongs, whether it will be yes or it will be no. So for this, first we have to classify the record. What is the solution? We have to compute the posterior probability. Now what is the data given to you now? Evidence is, I told you earlier, some evidence will be given. Based on the evidence, I am going to compute posterior probability. So evidence given here is homeowner is equal to no, marital status is married, annual income is 120k. So first we find, again base theorem we have to apply over here. We first find what is the probability of yes and what is the probability of no. That means in your data set, how many, there are totally 10 records. How many yes is there? 1, 2, 3. 3 yes and 7 no. So probability of yes is equal to 3 by 10 and no is equal to 7 by 10. This is for the overall record. Okay. Now what you have to find out now? You first find out what is the probability of yes for this data set, what is the probability of no for this data set, see which is greater. Okay. So what is the formula now? Now here probability of yes I have found out. Probability of yes is 3 by 10. Then this is no, means the data set which is given to you. Homeowner is equal to no. Okay. Then marital status is married and annual income is 120k. So you are finding for the class yes, look for homeowner is equal to no. That is the first step. Homeowner is equal to no for the class yes. Now where is homeowner? No, no. Is the class yes? No. No, no. Here no, yes, yeah. Here it is there 1. Then no, yes 2. Then no, yes 3. So 3 are yes for homeowner is equal to no. So here you can see here 3. Total number of records for yes is also 3. So and it is no for yes is also 3. So it is 3 by 3. Okay. This is corresponding to this data. This is corresponding to this data. Then next is whether he is married and it is yes. Do I have married and yes? Married and no is there. 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 So it is 0. So for married and yes it is 0. Okay. Next one 120 and yes. See here, where is 120? 120 and it is no. So we get a 0 over there also. So the whole thing will become a 0. So probability of whether he will default a loan is 0. Same thing I'll find for probability of whether he won't default a loan. That is no. So P of probability of no for the entire data set is 7 by 10. Now you find for the query given. What is the query given? Homeowner is equal to no. For this your class is also no. Then marital status is equal to married, class is no. Annual income is 120, class is no. Okay. Again from that data set you get this value, that is 0.018. Now since this value is greater than yes, we say that it is classified as no. Okay. So this is how your Bayesian classification works. I hope you have understood this. This is the first part. Okay. Thank you.